Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. We're going to get started here in a couple of minutes. We're just waiting for people to move through the stream, so we'll kick it off here in just a moment. Alrighty. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I am Joyce Dooley. I'm one of the program managers here at Geekdom. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to our 2020 CivTechSA Residency Celebration Launch Extravaganza and all things amazing, civic innovation, startups, entrepreneurs, San Antonio being amazing. It's a special treat for me as well because I helped kick off the program in 2018 and coming back for year 3 to set us all up and get going. And we're going to dive into who these companies are, what challenges they're solving, what to expect over the next 16 weeks as they get to partner directly with the city of San Antonio and collaborate with Geekdom as we build amazing solutions for San Antonio. And with that, hello, now you get to see my face. It's amazing. Welcome to it. As I said, I'm Joyce Dooley, program manager here at Geekdom. We are about to get in the mix of all of it. And so kicking us off is going to be Eddie Johnson with the City of San Antonio's Office of Innovation. Eddie, would you please lead the way?
Yes, thank you, Joyce. So good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Eddie Johnson. I'm an innovation specialist with the Office of Innovation, City of San Antonio. It is a pleasure to be here. We are at the point to where we are going to be introducing you to these lovely residents and departments who will be working through the residency program over the next 16 weeks. So I'll keep my piece short. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to the project that come out of this program this year. I've been leading the program over the last year and was assisting with the program in year. Emily Royal, if you guys know who she is, she was leading during year 2, transitioned it over to me. And so obviously we had a lot of transition of players, new input, different things like that in the program. So a lot of good things I think will come out of the residency this year. So with that being said, we're gonna give the floor to Charles Wooden. He's the CEO of Geekdom. He's going to provide a few comments. Charles?
Yeah, excuse me. Thank you, Eddie. And thank you, Joyce. It's a pleasure to be here. Let me clear my throat one more time. Everything's good now, everybody. We are good. So thank you both for having me here. It's a complete pleasure of mine to be overseeing Geekdom right now, and specifically with the CivTechSA program. It has been doing some pretty amazing things for the past 3 years, as Joyce alluded to. The residency program, to me, is one of the biggest cornerstones, one of the most important pieces of it. And today, you get to meet 2 new amazing companies to join that cohort and to really experience some amazing things with the city for 16 weeks of grueling time, innovating on new ideas within the departments that they'll be embedded in. One last thing I want to say before really passing it off and kicking this thing off is just reiterating again how important this residency program is and talking about what innovations have come from it. In the 3 years that we've been a part of this partnership with the City of San Antonio, we've had 4 companies that have taken part, 3 of which I believe have secured contracts with the City of San Antonio to create some pretty innovative things that now the citizens are able to take advantage of. And hopefully we're adding 2 more starting today. So really excited again to have this program, to be a partner with the city on it, and to introduce you to these two new companies. So that's all I have to say. I'm going to pass it back off, and you guys are in for a show. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So we're actually going to go ahead and kick it off to either Craig or to Eddie to kind of talk about what this program has meant to the city of San Antonio, how we're pushing things forward before we start diving into the challenges that these companies are going to be addressing and who they are.
Sure. So I can take it from the innovation perspective. So being a part of the Office of Innovation over the last, for me, I guess, year and a half or so, we take on a lot of projects and initiatives. Smart cities is a big effort. We've got a lot of things going on through there, and CivTech is a part of that. Since I've led the program over the last year, we've been able to really engage with a lot of partners throughout the city, 7 different colleges and universities, probably 10 to 15 different K through 12th grade schools and programs. Obviously, we're dealing and we're getting the opportunity to participate with 2 new residents this year, but we have worked with a number of entrepreneurs and startups through the program over the last 3 years. So again, I think the CivTechSA program is really unique in how it's operated and how we make connections to students, entrepreneurs, and businesses to really curate solutions to the challenges that we're having as a community in general. Although the challenges are coming from city departments, it really has that community focus. And so I think that really means a lot in terms of the mission and the vision of what CivTech is really all about. So in saying that, Craig, I don't know if you had any, thing or remarks that you wanted to say in regards to the program in general before we kind of get into introducing the challenges.
Well, first, Eddie, I want everybody to know that was your excited voice. You are excited. And you're such a level keel kind of guy all the time, but I know you're excited about this program, and I want to make sure everybody knows that was it. That was you're excited, and so
that was. I'm glad you recognize that, so everybody else knows.
So Eddie's being very modest about this program right now. This program is incredible that we have the opportunity to take challenges that we as the city see because our residents tell us that these things need to be fixed, and then turn those challenges out back into our community. Whether you're K through 12, whether you're a college student, whether you're a startup, whatever it may be, in multiple areas, and say, how would you fix this problem? And that is so, it's so exciting to be part of that, because we're not just trying to come up with solutions ourselves or just relying on vendors to tell us how to fix problems. We're putting the problems back out in the community. We're getting really creative ideas how to fix things. And we're creating a technology community at the same time, whether they are students who want to become a business, want to learn a new skill, just want to try it out, or new companies that are just starting off and getting their legs. So in this case, the residency is really a unique opportunity where we can say, not only do we put the problem back out to the community, but now we're going to partner with you for 16 weeks and help you solve the problem. And so we don't have a predetermined solution. We just know what we have in our inventory of tools. We know what our residents are telling us to fix. And so we want to partner. Think of us as your VC, but we don't have any control over you, right? So the nice thing is to be able to get together and do this together. And at the end of the 16 weeks, we have an opportunity to say, this could really help the city. Let's take it to the next step. Or we all gain something from it and we go on our way, but at least we've been able to do that together. So I'm excited to be here as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Craig and Charles and Eddie, for setting up the stage for the departments to be able to dig into the challenges. I know we're really excited about what's going to come from this cohort. With that, Nick, if you would please introduce your department, why you guys chose this challenge for the residency selection, and then we can pass the torch to Rubicon.
Good evening. I'm Nick Gallus. I'm the Assistant Director for Solid Waste. We've been an active participant in the CivTech program since it came out 3 years ago. And, just give a little bit of background as far as the solid waste department is concerned. We service 360,000 households. We travel over 7 million miles every year. We pick up over 1 billion pounds, B with a B, not just a million, 1 billion pounds of waste every year. And, we've got a pretty aggressive goal to get to 60% recycling by the year 2025. Right now, we're about 36% of the way there. And so, we got a lot of challenges ahead of us. And so with that, one of the focuses that we wanted to look at was how do we improve the quality of material that's being put into our carts, the material that we're collecting, the material that we're taking to our recycling and composting facilities is definitely a challenge for us. We've got a team of inspectors. We've made a substantial investment in making sure that we're doing what we can. In recent years, it's become very volatile. China is not taking any more garbage. They want clean material, and so I think the recycling industry became complacent. It wasn't, they weren't really innovative. And so I think that's done for us is created a perfect opportunity for innovation. And so, that's why we saw this as a perfect opportunity for us to submit this challenge. We spend, millions of dollars in contamination. We've got a team of 30 inspectors that go out there and look at these carts and try to prevent the material from entering the truck. But a lot of our residents have become very creative and they hide the stuff at the bottom of the cart, And so unfortunately, we have a manual process to try to document that. Our drivers are looking in the camera as the material is being emptied into the hopper of the truck. And as they see the material that doesn't belong, they document that. But, that's one of the things that we don't want to have our drivers have to do. Our preference would be that they focus on providing the service and collecting the carts and not having to worry about all these extra tasks that we keep on throwing their way. Safety is a top priority. We want them to focus on that and not have to deal with the contamination. And so this is a perfect opportunity to take a look at technology and see how we could leverage that. The ideal solution would be to basically take that manual process, utilize some sort of technology solution, artificial intelligence, whatever the case may be, and essentially do all that work for us, be able to send notification. And the impact would be that we would send notifications to our residents saying that, hey, we noticed that when we were servicing your cart last Tuesday, we noticed that there was something in there that didn't belong. Just a reminder, these are things that have a negative impact to the recycling program. In order for all this stuff to work, we need to make sure that we're collecting the right material. And so, those are those opportunities. And I think the process that we've implemented right now, albeit it's manual, it has been pretty effective. But like I said, I want my drivers, the operators that we have out in the field to focus on safety. They get into this rhythm, and then all of a sudden they see contamination in a cart, and they're having to document that, and all of a sudden they forget to do something, and it results in an accident. So that's where this would definitely have a huge impact on the quality of the material that we pick up. And also contribute towards safety. And so, that's why we're real excited about this opportunity to work with Rubicon. I know we've had communications with Rubicon in the past. I think 5 years ago, they kind of approached us, and, we've kind of had communications with them. And it just so happened that I was at a waste conference back in October, and we bumped into each other, and it was a perfect opportunity. We had the CivTech thing, and I was like, hey, we got this project. We got this challenge, submit, and, we'll see where it goes from there. And here we are. So we're real excited. And so we're looking forward to this opportunity to work with each other.
Amazing, Nick. Thank you so much. I think it's really important that everybody kind of understands the scope of impact for why this challenge was so important for us to take on. It's not often that some of these challenges or the details really gets the visibility that it needs in order for people to really understand what your department faces on a day-to-day basis or on an annual basis, and what it means to have the quality of life that we have in our city. So thank you for sharing that. And with that, I'd love to pass the torch to Michael, Connor, Tyler, and anybody else that we have on the Rubicon team. I think Erica, and be able to share the news.
Well, thank you so much. This is Mike Allegretti. I'll speak on behalf of Rubicon. First of all, Eddie, Craig, Nick, on behalf of the city, thank you. And Charles, Leslie, Joyce, the entire Geekdom team, thank you as well. We are honored to be working with the city and with Geekdom on this partnership. And as Nick said, we've been talking with the city for a number of years, and it's exciting to have this incredible program that you have built in partnership to allow companies like ours to basically develop game-changing technology focused on data analytics and proactive government. I say this with the utmost sincerity. This is best-in-class government. This is what, as a former policy student before going into the workforce, this is what we would talk about, right? How do you get the private sector and government to work together on driving real change and doing so in a way that is fair and allows for experimentation by government in a safe and quote unquote regulated space. And you have nailed that. And I really do want to tip my hats to you. Us being a part of the program aside, it is a truly important innovation. So a minute on Rubicon and then a minute or two on what we're doing or will do with the city. Rubicon is a technology company. We were born in the waste and recycling space. We're just over 10 years old now, so we are a mature startup. But in the smart city space, our business is younger and evolving, and that's an important distinction. There are many companies out in the world that work on things like fleet management, telematics, and certainly artificial intelligence. But why I think this ultimately, perhaps why we were chosen and why I think this is such a great fit is we live and breathe waste and recycling. Our company services the portfolios of many, if not most, of the nation's leading brands. Think of Walmart, Dollar General, Apple, Starbucks, Best Buy, all of these big stores down to Main Street businesses. And we service their waste and recycling needs portfolio-wide with a network of independent waste haulers. So we get garbage and we get recycling. We developed a technology product out of that business, purpose-built for cities. And we call it Rubicon Smart City. And the thing that we will build with you over the next 16 weeks is a next iteration of that project, a future element of that project that looks to bring artificial intelligence specifically to recycling contamination. And Nick, you did a beautiful job, I think, of articulating why the heck this matters. And I'd say there's probably a lot more you could say about it. I mean, China, it's frustrating that China and the Chinese national government basically said, we're going to stop taking your recycling or quote unquote your subpar recycling. But you know what? It was a wake up call. And it forces all of us as Americans, as cities, as businesses, as homeowners to rethink how we recycle and to ensure that we create better products, but also that we recycle smarter. And so the role of technology in partnership with government to figure out how do we get a better recycling stream. There is still money for cities to make on recycling, but only those cities that have the cleanest stream and take proactive measures to ensure that what they're sending to a MRF, a material recovery facility, is the best it can be. Those are the cities that will win. So truly, I applaud you for being proactive on this. Every city in the country is struggling with this issue. Our partners at the Recycling Partnership, we work with them as well. We have technology that helps power their manual audits. So we're not opposed to manual audits, which is obviously what you're doing. But what you've identified is there's got to be a better way. We've got to move faster. We have to bring big data and data analytics to this process. So what we will be building with you, I guess this will be helpful for the folks who are tuned in, is we'll be deploying our technology, I believe, on 8 of your vehicles, recycling vehicles. And these will be hopper cameras that will look to identify contaminants in the recycling stream. So hopper cameras in the back of the truck for recycling vehicles, looking to identify very specific contaminants. And we'll have a meeting, obviously, in the next few days as we go through the scoping process to determine what the heck do we want to look for. Is it plastic bags? Is it chewing gum? What is the thing that we're trying to identify? And then once we prove that concept together, we could obviously build out additional contaminants for which we could identify. But it's the right problem to tackle. We're honored to be a part of this. And we believe beyond San Antonio, what you're going to help do is light a path for other cities as well. And I'm not talking about with our technology. I'm saying specifically about tackling this issue on the front end so that cities and American cities in particular can survive and ultimately thrive coming out the back end of this policy from China. So I applaud you on that.
Thank you so much, Michael. We really appreciate hearing your perspective. And I think that with all the sustainability goals that San Antonio has set and what they want to hit by 2030 and 2050, this is going to help us really propel that much further. So thank you. Do you want to take a minute to introduce the rest of the Rubicon team? And
Yes.
before we move on?
So Connor Riffle is on the line. He's our Vice President for Smart Cities. Tyler Molinaro is on the line. He is our Senior Manager for Partnerships, and we divide the country up in an odd way, but for the purpose of this conversation, he's in charge of Texas and a number of states surrounding Texas. And Phil Radoni and Ryan Alexander, who were on a call with us earlier yesterday, are our Chief Technology Officer and essentially his deputy. They'll be working to build the tech. And I'm Rubicon's Chief Strategy Officer and a member of the executive team of the company. You guys want to say hi, or I don't know if you're on mute or not, but please take a moment to say hello to everyone. There you are.
I'll come off mute to say hello, world.
Same thing. It's great to be with y'all and echo everything Michael said. We're just thrilled to be a part of this. So thank you all, and I can't wait to get started.
Awesome. This is where the like roar of the crowd would go and everyone would applaud like crazy, you know, yeah. We're going to kick off our residency celebration event, and we're going to start pivoting towards the next challenge that's going to get addressed. But Bryan Dillard, the Chief Innovation Officer for the City of San Antonio, has joined us. Bryan, I don't know if you want to say a few words about what year 3 residency looks like, how excited you are, what the importance of this program has been, but we'd love to hear your perspective before we dive into the next portion.
Yeah, hey y'all, sorry joined a little late here, got held up. We have a little protest going on in San Antonio, which is a good thing. Yes, year 3, exciting times. I was lucky enough to join in year 2. That's when I came into the city of San Antonio. I got to see that be a success, and then we just like got even more excited for year 3, so we piped it up to an even higher level with Geekdom and the rest of the city of San Antonio. So I don't want to set the expectations too high, but the expectations are very high. Not to mention you got Joyce and Leslie working together to run the program. I'm very excited about year 3, excited to see these teams move forward and really kick ass on providing some solutions to civic challenges that we face day after day, year after year, that we've been trying to identify solutions. And I believe he is. Is that a nod, Joyce? Is Craig on? Okay, cool. So yes, definitely teaming up with Craig to help you all get whatever you need as we move forward in this, and show the true worth of what San Antonio is all about when it comes to solving problems from the civic aspect with technology startups. Thank you so much for participating in this program. Thank you, Joyce, Leslie, Charles, Craig, Eddie. Thanks everybody for helping us out, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Bryan. We're really glad you were able to join us. We understand that things are kind of crazy in 2020 and have only gotten crazier. So this is a bright spot, and I think in everybody's week, and hopefully over the next couple of months moving forward. Eddie, do you want to kind of set the stage for the next challenge that we're going to dive into?
Yeah. So I won't say too much other than. And Challenge 5 is a code. I guess it's a partnership in a way between the Office of Innovation and our ITSD department. So again, we have Craig. He's going to speak on Challenge 5, which is the One City app.
I guess that's my cue. All right. So, so for the group, I have a couple of different roles around the city and on this program as well. And one of them is I'll be your IT counterpart in any way for both teams. You'll have some folks from IT they'll work with you directly, but our intent is to make you successful in every way we can, and to leverage the assets and the tools that we already have in the city to help you out. So as you're going through your plan, you'll be talking to IT, and we won't be the ones that'll say no, but sometimes we'll say, we're not sure, and we'll have to work that together with you and figure out how to leverage those assets together. But the other role I was honored to take on this was just to come up with another challenge. So I picked a really easy one for everybody. Just make it easy for everybody in the city to do business with every city and municipal organization in the city. That's it. Just make it easy, right? So we have years of building systems and tools and processes from the inside out. And we have a hodgepodge of silos of information systems and business processes and departmental viewpoints, not only in the city of San Antonio, our organization, but in SAWS and CPS and the River Authority. Every organization has been built that way over the years. And so this is an opportunity for us to take an outside-in resident perspective of government and just make it as absolutely easy as possible for them to do whatever they need to do. No longer do you have to figure out the right phone number to call, the right organization to get to, the right person to talk to, the right form to fill out. I don't know whether I pay my garbage bill through SAWS or CPS or the city. It shouldn't matter. I should know that I need to get my garbage picked up. I need to get my water turned on. I need someone to come get the graffiti off a wall, whatever the situation is. And then, it's been a very emotional day with a lot of things going on here in the city right now. And I don't want to dismiss. It's not just a customer experience, make it easy on an app. It's about building trust in government. It's about making it easy for residents who have and who have not, who have access to digital components and don't have access to digital components, who have money and who don't have money, who have to take the bus or who can drive a car. It's understanding that we're not building just for technology's sake, and we're not building for our sake. We're building for our residents' perspective based on their life. We have to have empathy for them, and we have to know that we're here to serve them. So the challenge is really easy. Figure out how to make it easy for everyone in the city, regardless of who they are, to do business with government, the business they got to do. And so that's the challenge we put out. Do we expect the vendor to show up and say, I have a tool, we can do that? We get that all the time, but it doesn't really solve that problem. It's another silo. So they're really excited to say, it's probably not going to be a technology build. This is going to have to be a strategy conversation. This is going to have to be a compassion and empathy conversation. There's going to be research to be done here, but it needs to end in something that's tangible that we can actually take to our residents and say, would you use this? And does this help solve these problems for you? So it's a little different than some of other challenges, but we put out the challenge and we had a few folks who raised their hand and will say, take a shot at it. And I'm very excited to see Red Squared here today, willing to jump into this one and see what they can do. So thank you guys.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Craig. We don't want to dwell on some of the things that are going on, but we do need to give honor to what's happening. And I think that everybody here who is participating in this program or any of the pillars in this program feel that that is the mission and the purpose of what we're trying to achieve here in San Antonio and unlock all of those amazing services and solutions that have real heart to them and serve our residents really well and have a ripple effect time and time again and how we approach this. So thank you for clarifying this issue for us and why it's so important that we fix this. And with that massively wonderful introduction, we're going to hand the reins over to the Red Squared company to kind of explain more about who you are, what you're doing, and how you plan on helping us resolve this.
Great. Thank you so much, Joyce. And thank you, Craig, for that wonderful introduction to the challenge. And everybody can breathe a sigh of relief that I, the one who logged into the Zoom meeting under 3 different accounts, I'm not going to be building a tech solution to this problem. in case that was not entirely evident from the beginning. Let me tell you a little bit about Red Squared, and then I want to talk a little bit about how we want to approach this challenge. And let me just echo, Michael, your eloquent words about how much pride Jenna and I feel being residents of this city that is looking to build trust with its residents, not only just to provide them good services, but to create a situation in which residents know the city is thinking about their needs first and trying to build from the resident perspective. It's not something that's happening in a lot of different venues, and we're very, very proud that it's happening right here in San Antonio. So kudos San Antonio, we have a lot of pride. So Jenna and I started Red Square Consulting in 2014. We're 6 years old, and we started with a very simple premise that we want to inspire businesses to be more human. I'm an anthropologist by training. I love to try to figure out why people do what they do. And I understand through experience that it's much better to design for people as they are rather than as you wish them to be. And I think that the challenge and the way that the Rubicon team is approaching it makes a lot of sense, right? We're not necessarily going to convince all residents to not put the bad stuff in there. So let's figure out some other systems to detect it. Same with this app. We know that users figure out workarounds. They figure out ways to get done what they need to get done. And we want to use those user insights to really feed innovation. So Jenny and I are strong proponents of starting with the user's perspective. And in this case, obviously, the residents, trying to understand what is it the residents want to accomplish, what kinds of interactions do they have with the city, what kinds of clusters of interactions are most important to them, and really starting to map that out. So our focus is very research intensive. There's going to be, of these 16 weeks, probably a good 4 or 5 weeks where we are talking directly with residents, we're talking with employees, trying to bring the business of the city and understanding what they're trying to accomplish and align that with what residents really want and are trying to accomplish. And that's where we get this user-centered approach and an understanding of, okay, what does this final product need to look like? Over the course of the past 6 years, we've worked with nonprofits, we've worked with the city, we've worked with financial institutions all over the country, always with that same aim. People call us to say, look, we don't know our customers, we don't understand our customers, help us figure out solutions so that we can anticipate their needs and work with our customers. And so that's really where we come in. And Craig, I really appreciated your perspective that this is not just about making a better resident experience, although that's important. This is not putting, giving residents a piece of candy after they've interacted with the city so that they feel better. This is about making them feel as though the city has taken the time to understand their needs. So my role in the company is what's my title? I'm Vice President and Master of Big Ideas. Yes, I got to take that title. That's the great thing about Red Square. And Jenna, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm the second half of Red Squared. My name is Jenna SP, and I'm the president and chief design thinker. Sometimes I describe us as Tara is the brain, I'm the disruptor, so we work well together. I stir the pot and then she solves the problem. So both aims will be well accomplished. As you might have figured, I didn't grow up in Texas. I grew up in Moscow, Russia, and back then it was the Soviet Union. So I have a firsthand experience of going to the store, standing in line to see what's behind the counter, then standing in line to weigh, let's just say it's cheese, then going to a different line, paying for the cheese, then standing in line again, picking up that cheese, and then you would have to do the same with milk, with potatoes, if those are available. So if you think like toilet paper is a problem, it really is not, but that's a different story. So my desire for kind of empathy and understanding really came from my upbringing, where the system, customer was the enemy. So we were routinely yelled at and really not treated as humans at times. So it is with just tremendous honor that I look at the city government. Oh my God, they want to do this. Isn't that amazing? So that just really speaks to me personally. And I do know how it feels to walk in the shoes of like which department, which line, like it's been 3 hours and I haven't accomplished anything. So we're really motivated by that very easy goal to make it easy. Of course, nobody knows what easy is. So we will put a definition of easy from the user residence perspective and really invite everyone, whether it's Rubicon team or our technology partner. It is such a fascinating and really humbling process because we think we're all so smart. We know everything. Yes, we do. But we don't. And when we hear something from people like, oh, it just really brings us in a good space of humility that, we can't assume everything. We have to meet people where they are, and Tara and I are very excited to be doing this. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Jenna and Tara. We're incredibly pleased to have you join our cohort this year. I think anybody tuning in can see that we have some really amazing challenges that got picked this year, with even more phenomenal people here to help us solve this together in collaboration. Eddie, before we kind of move into this next final concluding remarks, do you have anything that you'd like to add to the previous conversation?
Just real quick, and it's been said earlier, don't take my monotone voice or reserved demeanor. Don't blame me for that. But I am truly excited to see what comes out of this program this year. Obviously, as the vendors were able to speak to their expertise and what what they can do to resolve these challenges, I really think what's going to come out of this year is really going to be impactful, not just for San Antonio, but I mean, these solutions can obviously, go outside of Texas. So, I mean, what comes out of this can really benefit our citizens. And I'm just really excited for this opportunity to be a part of this.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eddie. Yeah, no, without a doubt. So for those of you who don't really know how Geekdom fits into all of this, right? Like the CivTechSA partnership, it's really clear that we are funneling civic and community challenges into this pipeline to where the city can actually interact with companies and startups and entrepreneurs like the ones who have joined us this evening. Geekdom is a co-working space in downtown San Antonio that I and Leslie and a couple of other people have had the fortune of being a part of for a very long time. And what we really specialize in is building San Antonio one startup at a time and leveraging technology solutions, community, the concept of really being helpful into everything that we do. And this is the kind of the culmination of that mentality in partnership with the city that feels very similarly. And so it is a unique program. It's incredibly special. And we're really thrilled to be a part of it and to have everybody join us. And while this is the residency celebration, we've tossed her name around a couple of times tonight. Who is this Leslie person that we haven't interacted with? I would absolutely love to turn the reins over to Leslie while she kind of gives a little bit of her background and what we can expect over the next 16 weeks and what the outcomes are probably going to be amazing. Anyways, with that, Leslie, please take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. So I'm Leslie Chasnoff, and I am the brand new CivTech Program Manager for Geekdom. I just started last Tuesday, and this is such an exciting and wonderful way to kind of kick off my new position here. My experience, my previous job was with the city's Arts and Culture Department, so I have that touch point and understanding of working with the city and kind of the ethos of the city, their core values, how much emphasis they really do put on hearing from the citizens and really trying to innovate. It's one of the core values of the city, and do the best we can to make our city better and serve our residents better. So that was really exciting. I also have a background in education and in startups and entrepreneurship. I was very heavily involved at Geekdom for several years, trying to run a business and build a new startup and learn to code and do all the things. So I have a nice touch point and understanding of a lot of what goes on in this program. And in all of my past positions, I've done program management and gotten to work with a lot of different individuals and partners on building new things, trying new things, and helping them get them to a successful place and bringing that out to the public. So I'm so excited to work with both of these teams on these challenges. I think they're both really big, ambitious challenges, but ones that kind of only a unique partnership like this could solve. So that's one of the most amazing things about CivTech. It's so special. And I think the relationship we are all building together as we move into this is also going to be really impactful and special. So I really look forward to working with everyone on this, and also wanted to make sure those who are watching pencil in September 29th. That is the demo day So we've been talking about the 16 weeks where everyone's going to be working, but it leads up to this big demo day on September 29th, where you can tune in if it's going to be virtual, possibly in person, to see what these teams have been working on for 16 weeks. So they're going to kind of pitch us on their product, their ideas, their solution. So I want to make sure, again, September 29th is when this big demo day will happen. So really looking forward to working with everyone. And also for those watching, just keep in touch with our social media channels, because we will be posting updates over the next 16 weeks. So hopefully you can hear a little bit more about what these teams are doing and the processes they're taking. So I guess with that, Joyce, if you want to just officially wrap it up.
Yeah, so actually, you know, just really quickly, Charles, Craig, do you have anything to add before I steal the show and conclude?
No, steal the show.
I agree.
Yeah.
You have the blessing. Go ahead.
Sweet. Okay, so I am deeply, passionately in love with everything about this program and the people who are in it and the community that we serve. It is so exciting to help launch the 2020 cohort year 3 of being amazing. If you have questions or ideas about how to get involved, how to support the companies that are in this, or to get involved in the research or give your feedback on any of the things that we might be working on, please shoot us an email at CivTechSA@geekdom.com. You can also check out our website at CivTech-SA.com. We also want you to go and check out Rubicon and Red Squared's website and their social medias, because I'm sure they're going to be blasting about the progress throughout the entire program. And for those of you who are really curious about who should be at this like demo day event, this is not just for the entrepreneurial community. This is not just for the people who participated or the city departments that are going to want to see the results, you know, in real time or anything like that. This is for people who are curious, who are passionate about solving civic problems and investing in communities. This is for investors who maybe want to look to these companies for opportunities to grow and to build. This is for other cities, municipalities to come learn, to also potentially adopt these solutions, because I think each person who really spoke identified the fact that this is something that we're all trying to figure out together. And so the only way to do that is to open the doors and welcome everybody inside. And with that, like, can we please, I guess, like give a round of applause or smile and cheese it up really quickly before we conclude, so I can take a photo. All right, 1, 2, 3, amazing. Boom, done. Excellent. With that, everybody, please have a really great evening. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you, and we'll stay